Hey guys, it's Ricky. I wanted to make a quick video about how to make friends when you have really bad social anxiety because I have really bad social anxiety. I don't know if you guys can tell by the fact that these are the only two friends I've really talked about uh, on this channel, but I do have a lot of friends. I just have really, really bad social anxiety, and I realize that's kind of rare. People with social anxiety, I think, tend to not have an abundance of friends, and I really do have many friends. Like, I get overwhelmed sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I need to dwindle it down, honestly, because it's a lot. And I I don't let my social anxiety get in the way of interacting. Sometimes I do, but for the most part, I don't let it get in the way of interacting with people, and I try to not let it hold me back. And I just feel like a lot of people, a lot of teenagers, could use some advice on that because it took me a long time to get to this place. So I made a little list in my notes app about the things I do, and these are genuine tips and tricks on how to make friends when you have social anxiety. None of that like, oh, just be yourself and love yourself and people will come to you. Like, nah, guys, stop. No, that's not true. I mean, maybe it is. It's not what worked for me. I love myself. People didn't come to me. I had to interact with them to get them to come with me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to break it to you. But anyway, this is what worked for me. The first tip, I feel like this one is genuinely so smart. I didn't come up with it myself, I saw it online, but it's actually worked so well. Wear clothing or buy ththings that show your interests, like display your interests prominently. Like, for example, buying merch of your favorite artist. Or I have my Olivia Rodrigo Stanley over there, or just putting stickers on the back of your computer. Guys, I have made so many friends from my Olivia Rodrigo Stanley because I bring it everywhere and people love to compliment it and they know exactly what it is when they see it and they walk up, strangers walk up to me and they say, I love the Olivia Rodrigo Stanley. And I say, thank you. Even like older people will say it to me. And I've actually made friends from it. I actually talked about it in my last video. I made friends from the Olivia Rodrigo Stanley. And it is awkward because I'm never really expecting people to just kind of start talking to me. So I'm just like, oh, thanks. But it facilitates interaction. I also have a ton of stickers on the back of my computer that are my favorite movies. And people, I've sat down next to people in class, not knowing anything about them, and they said, oh my God, I love that movie. I love that actress. And I've been like, oh my God, me too. And then we start talking. It is actually like, it works. I didn't think it would work. I put those stickers on the back of my computer thinking like, oh, maybe I'll interact with someone because of this, but like, I'm not holding my breath. And then it worked multiple times and it just works so well. So buy things that show off your interests and display what you like, no matter what that is, as long as it's something appropriate to display, like nothing like just things that can be viewed by children. If it's going to be a sticker on your water bottle, like you're going to drink water somewhere where there's a child, just always be thinking about that type of stuff. But your interests, display them. Okay, I think I made that point very clear. I spent 3.5 minutes talking about it. My second tip is to compliment people. Now, I'm not talking about complimenting strangers. If you can do that, that's great. That's amazing. Do that. Genuinely do that. I can't do that. I cannot walk up to a stranger and compliment them. No matter how hard I try, that's just never going to be me. What I'm referring to is when you're interacting with someone already. So, like, you're in a group project, you're forced to talk to them, or you're meeting a friend's mutual friend, or just any interaction with someone. Oh my God, I love your shirt. Oh my God, I love the color of your hair, like your hair dye. I love your bracelets. Like, I guarantee you, there's always at least three things you can find that you really enjoy about a person, about their outfit, about sometimes even you can compliment their accomplishments if you know that they've been in like a school play or a sports team that did good. I don't really know much about sports, but um, you can always find something to compliment people on, and they're usually gonna react positively because who doesn't love a compliment? So that's one of the biggest tips too, because it immediately like just shows them that you're supportive and you're nice and but never do a fake compliment. If you don't really love someone's shirt, don't be like I love your shirt just to say that. Like you can genuinely find stuff to compliment anyone on. I guarantee it. So find something you actually like, compliment it and do it in a nice way. None of those like weird, rude, backhanded compliments like, oh, you actually look good today. Don't say that. Do not say that because I'll freak out. Or anything like that. Be genuine, guys, but be kind. The next thing I have is forcing yourself out of your comfort zone. And I don't mean forcing yourself out of your comfort zone, okay? I don't mean like doing stuff that you fundamentally do not want to do and are not comfortable doing. If you don't want to go to a party and everyone's going to the party and you feel like, oh, everyone's going and they're going to make friends and I'm going to be left behind, but I really just don't align with that. I don't feel like I'd have fun. I know I'd be miserable the whole time. Don't go to the fucking party. I told myself I'm not going to swear on this channel, but this is a video for the mature people. By the way, this video is for people like 15 and up, I'd say, because this is for people who have established their sense of identity and are trying to interact with other people and find identities that resonate with them, like other people's identities. So if you're trying to find your own identity and you're like under 15-ish, under like 14-ish, I can make a separate video for that because I feel like it's a whole different genre of advice I'd have about like peer pressure and just the type of things that you deal with at that age. But this is for people who know who they are. But anyway, don't do stuff you're uncomfortable with, but also go out of your comfort zone. I know that sounds so crazy, guys, but let me explain, okay? How do I explain this? Do stuff that you're still comfortable with, but it's pushing the limits, okay? Do stuff that you still think, oh, I could have fun if I do that. I mean, haven't really done that before. Not drugs and not drinking. Don't do those things. If you resonate with that, do that. Honestly, I'm not gonna judge you. I don't think that's the way you should be making friends, really. Going out and going to a party and maybe having a drink, like, yeah, that works. Great. You're all having fun, but I wouldn't use that as a primary reason. But just doing stuff you're uncomfortable with. For example, actually, this is a layered story because it also includes an example of failure. Um, when I first got to this school, I was determined to make as many friends as possible, as quickly as possible, because that first week, everyone's going to be looking for their friends, and I knew I needed to capitalize on that. So, there was this huge, like, Kahoot, like, quiz game with, like, 150 kids in this gym, and we could answer the questions, and I decided to go because I thought I'd meet people and interact with them, and it was my first day here in this new environment. I had like one and a half friends. I kind of knew two people. They weren't there. I was excited. I sat down. I was there for about an hour and nobody talked to me. And I kind of tried to talk to people. The group on my left did not speak English. They seemed really nice. I tried to talk to them. There wasn't a communication happening. The person on my right sat down and then got up and left. So then there was nobody on my right. So I just really like there was nobody for me to interact with. And I really tried, but it wasn't working. And after 45 minutes, I got up and I left and I came back to my dorm and I started to cry. I went under my bed and I started to cry because I just felt like I was failing. I wasn't making the friends I needed to make. Everyone seemed like they had their groups and I didn't have a group. I didn't even have like a friend really yet. And when I came into my room to start sobbing, I opened my door and I had this light, this galaxy light. And this group of girls was like, oh, we love your light. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then I closed my door, started to cry. But then I was crying for like 30 seconds. And I was like, wait, I should try to befriend those girls. Like, they already interacted with me. I need to go find them. So I wiped my tears and I opened my door. And I see this group of girls, like probably 12 girls, out in the hall. And they're all entering this girl's dorm. And I walk up and I'm like, hey, like, what's up? And they were terrified because they thought I was an RA based on the way I went about it. Like I said, guys, I have social anxiety. I'm not the best at interacting with people. I try my best. I thought I was saying, hey, what's up? In a like, oh, hey, what's up, guys type of way. They viewed it as like, what are you guys doing? Like, they thought they were in trouble. So they all stopped and they looked at me. I was like, oh, I'm not like an RA or anything. I'm just bored. And they were like, oh, yeah, like, give us a dorm tour. Like, show us your dorm. And like, these girls and I hung out this whole night. And there were 12 of them. I probably still interact with about 5 of them on a daily basis, or like a weekly basis, because I have classes with them and stuff. And It's just, I had a failure socially. I fumbled socially, very common for me. But I got back up and I put myself out there. And I don't usually do that. I don't get up and walk up to a group and start interacting with them. Like, that is not me. But I did. And it worked out great. And then I wasn't sad anymore. I didn't want to come back to my room and cry. And I know that's so hard. And I normally wouldn't interact with a group of strangers, but I knew I had to capitalize on that first week of college, freshman year experience and make as many friends as possible. And it worked out so well. And that is one of my biggest pieces of advice is like, do stuff you're not 100% comfortable with, but nothing that goes against your basic morals. That's my main point. Stuff you're uncomfortable with, but not stuff that's genuinely not you, you know? Like saying, hi, what are you guys doing to this group of girls? Like, that's something I would do. It's just I am too uncomfortable to do it. But if this a different group was like, hey, let's go smoke, and I just wanted to make friends, don't do that if that's not you. Don't do something that's not you. I know this is sounding very basic and very middle schooly, but I hope it makes sense. Um, and then my last piece of advice is actually I have more to add to that last one. Step up slash reach out is what I have for the next thing, which applies to the last thing, but also like my school has this 2028 account for kids who uh, can post on this account. And I posted, and a couple of people DM'd me, but I didn't really click with them. And then I saw some people and I wanted to make more friends, and I DM'd them. I DM'd these two girls. Tell me why these two girls are my best friends here now. And we're all in a friend group. And I didn't know they didn't know each other yet. We met, not even through me. They knew each other. And I walked up to them and I was like, oh, hey, and they're my best friends here now. I text them every day about the randomest stuff. We hang out all the time. Like, because I DM'd them and I said, hey, like, I really want to make friends. I'm kind of anxious about it. Um, like, I don't know. I was myself. I reached out. So, reaching out, it can go really bad, okay? It's not really happened for me, but it can if people are mean. But if they're mean, you don't want them in your life anyway. So you dodged a bullet. So honestly, there's really almost only good things that can come from reaching out first. So I would do that. And like obviously some friendships are just going to come to you, right? But reaching out is really what you have to do. We're grown, guys. We're grown. You got to step up. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you. Okay? And take things at your own pace and do whatever you're comfortable with. But if you genuinely want to make friends, you might just have to reach out and step up and do it for yourself. We're grown, we're mature, we gotta take things into our own hands. We can't just wait for stuff to come to us. Okay? Uh, I don't know, that got a little motivational speakery for me, but that is those are my main pieces of advice for making friends with social anxiety. And also, I just want to say, also, I don't know if it seems like I have social anxiety from all the stuff I've said. Let me be so clear and so for real. I have horrible social anxiety. I maybe I shouldn't say too much, but I have it, okay? And this is what I do to cope with it. And so if you think you have social anxiety and you have it worse than me, that's totally possible, but I'm not like someone just saying I have it and then giving shitty advice about it without really knowing what I'm talking about. I'm like diagnosed with it, okay? It affects me every day. So that's why I feel qualified to speak on it. I don't know why this video is coming off so aggressive. Uh, but I really don't mean for it to. My last piece of advice actually is embarrassment is natural. I feel embarrassed all day, every day. You know what I do to cope? There is one thing, only one, that makes me feel better about being embarrassed. Actually, I had a segment on this channel called Embarrassing Story of the Day because I embarrass myself all the time. The one thing that makes me feel better about being embarrassed is a song by Olivia Rodrigo called Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. This song is strictly about embarrassing yourself all the time and having social anxiety. And if I drop my water bottle in class and it makes the loudest noise ever and everyone looks at me, AirPods going in, I'm playing that song. It is the only thing that will make me feel better. And sometimes a friend will text me and be like, oh my God, I just embarrassed myself so bad. Because also another thing we tend to do when we embarrass ourselves is tell someone because nothing's embarrassing when it's with friends. You can be skipping through a Walmart alone singing your favorite song, and you're not going to do that because that's embarrassing. But you and your best friend skipping through a Walmart singing your favorite song, that is life. Okay? That's funny as frick. No, I'm just gonna stick with swearing. That's funny as fuck. Okay. So a lot of times my friends will tell me like, "Oh, I just embarrassed myself," and I'll do that too. But I always say to them, "Play Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. Play Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl. It will make you feel so much better. It's angsty. It's just like it makes you feel better about embarrassing yourself all the time. As someone who's embarrassed all the time, as someone with crippling, not kidding, crippling social anxiety, that's what makes me feel better. Um, So that's my advice, teenager to teenager. How to deal with social anxiety, how to make friends with social anxiety as someone who has very bad social anxiety. But I'm getting better. I am. I know, guys. I spent a lot of this video talking about how bad my social anxiety is, but it was much worse before I came to college. College has really opened me up. I have to be on like all the time because like oh my god, okay, I thought the dining hall was closed. I didn't know what time it was, and I'm so hungry. But anyway, I have to go to the dining hall all the time and like interact with people and like wave and smile and hold the door open and it's just really made me kind of okay with social interaction a lot more than I was. It's still stressing me out. Some days I avoid the dining hall because I can't do it. On a really bad day, I can't do all that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. No, I am sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do all that. So some days you just have to avoid your triggers if you're having a really bad day with your anxiety. But that's my advice for it. I'll update you guys if I ever get over my social anxiety. Hopefully one day I will. Something tells me I won't, but that's a negative mindset. One day maybe I will. Hopefully, if all goes well, I'll never have social anxiety again by a certain age. And I know it's a very normal teenager thing, especially for our generation, because we were quarantined in a developmental time. And we didn't learn all those social skills. I was 13 in quarantine. I was supposed to be in middle school. I was in middle school, but I was supposed to be like interacting with people all the time and like forming how to interact with people, and it didn't happen. So I know we're all screenagers here. You're watching a YouTube video right now. Like, we know how it is. We're scared of people. I, yeah, that's how I deal with social anxiety. Uh, I don't know what else to say. I've yapped for 18 minutes. This is my longest video. I'm just going to end it here. Bye. I love you.